Hey everybody, how's it going? Glad you're here. We're getting started. I am, as we speak, sending out the pre-show text message. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, send. Whee! Okay, that should let everybody know that the show's about to get started. Except for it's not sending. That's not good. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now I'm sending. Go, little text message. Go! Look at him go. Wow, beautiful. Well, we're doing it, folks. Thanks for being here. Got a great show, as always. I want to thank Lola S. for helping us out with today's show artwork. Lola S., one of the youngest artistic producers of the show. Really appreciate it, Lola. And also wonderful about today's pre-show is we do have a prayer. We got a prayer coming in from Rochelle, so we'll be playing that in just a moment. I do want to remind everybody that you can, if you go to canarycrynewstalk.com, on the right hand or the bottom side of the page, you'll see a green tab. On that tab, you can click it. You can leave us a message. Leave us a pre-show prayer, if you will. Lots of people love the idea, but not a lot of people have been doing it. But now's your chance. Go over there. Leave us a prayer on the speak pipe on the webpage, and we will feature a prayer for every pre-show, which we are going to do now, folks. Remember that if you go to canarycrysupply.drop.com, sign up for the supply drop, we are going to be sending out DVD copies of Age of Deceit 1, 2, and 3 for the rest of the year. It's very exciting. Lots of people have seen those documentaries. They found us through those documentaries. They love the documentaries, if for no other reason than just helping become a network of real-life humans in possession of some real-life physical copies of those documentaries will help preserve the information long after the internet has been entirely subjugated to authoritarian control. So do that. Join the team. Help support the show. Keep the show alive, and get your Age of Deceit 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com. Woo! Okay, and now time for a prayer, and we'll get the show started. Here we go.
Hey guys. Hey Canarians. I just wanted to come in and do a pre-show prayer. This is Psalm 91, and I'm just wanting to dwell with it, sit with it for a while. Dear Lord, thank you for your Son. Thank you for this group of fellow humans who really want the same for humanity that I do. And we just welcome you into the Canarian nest. And here's my poem for Psalm 91. The Most High will shelter me in the shadow of the Almighty. Here I sing about the Lord. He alone will shut the door. He will rescue you from every trap and protect you from deadly crap. He will shelter you with his wings, and from his promises protection brings fearlessness, from the tremors of the night and from the arrows in their daily flight. Though 10,000 fall at my side, evil will not be my guide. He gives strength, so open our eyes and see the wickedness demise. We make Yahweh our protection, the holy cross our intersection. The Lord commands his holy angels, help righteousness to not get tangled. You can trample cobras and lions. He protects those who trust in Zion. Stay strong for Jesus.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 21st, 2023. We are live to tape on episode 615. And today, Data Industrial Complex. And signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz of Face Like the Sun, Resurrection, director of the Age of Deceit films. Wife calls me the Cabana Boy. Your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomena, Netunim.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay. Wow, there's such a pregnant pause there. I thought maybe we had dropped a connection.
No,
but you were just checking your pronunciation of this very
lining
important,
it up. It's
emergent
Hebrew.
phenomenon.
Hebrew for data.
They all want to share their data.
Take that for data.
Data.
That is interesting. Now, is that sort of a wooden translation, or what's the etymology there?
Yeah, I don't know. I
Okay.
I didn't go that deep. I just trying to get a
Okay.
different language. The word data in there, I think it's just modern Hebrew. But
Sure.
yeah, Netunim in the absolute state of data. There's also
Wow.
Netune, the construct state. Language is
Holy
complicated. So,
Holy smokes.
yeah.
You know, I'm reading I'll get into it. No, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book. Can you believe it? I'm
Yeah.
reading a book.
Yes.
It's called Babel. And it's this very interesting book about, you guessed it, language. And it's kind of in the context of arcane, occult use of language and sort of metaphorically how it's been used to subjugate human beings, stuff like that. It's an interesting book. So I am deep in the language rabbit hole, and how, because language is what defines our worldview. And as we followed throughout the pandemic, all you got to do is change language, and you can affect a mass amount of the population's worldview. Yeah. And so there you go. There's something that almost never happens. Me reading a book, and also a almost pre-show breakdown on the occult resonance of language. And with that, Gonz, we got a great show. So I'm going to what am I going to do? I'm going to open up a can of disclaimer is what I'm going to do.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. That's right. We're doing it. And we promise, YouTube Censorship Committee, we promise you won't have to work very hard on this one, okay? You can just click away. You don't need to watch. We'll be good. But wait 1 second. Okay, they're all gone. Let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
That's right. It's a bird. It's a plane. Opening up with our lead stories are aliens, falling satellites. What's going on over the skies of Ukraine? We'll be jumping into some mainstream reporting about the UFO sightings in Ukraine. Then Artemis, Yes, that's right. Artemis the robot is bringing us another angle to why exactly robots should be playing sports. In the first block of the show, checking in with Meta's AI, and more specifically, the tech reporting from Gizmodo as far as what we should be allowing artificial intelligence to be trained on. Certainly not that filth over at Breitbart. We have some Gizmodo complaints about the broad, the broad training basis of some of these AIs, as well as some AI boosters who want to go ahead, sacrifice humanity, as long as we get a nice simulation to live in. BuzzFeed News is shutting down. We'll be exploring just why and how the community of online news lovers is going ballistic. Then we'll be checking in with the European Union's new comprehensive framework for crypto regulation. Sounds boring. Trust me, it's not. And then we got some clips from Mr. Gensler and his embarrassing display talking about cryptocurrency and the future of digital money. Then big news, folks. Birds aren't real. Yeah. We've been saying it for years, but we finally have the proof. Then jumping into some mind control stories here, the mind-body connection, and in how 2045 machines will be shopping for humans. Are they shopping for humans, or are they shopping for humans? I don't know. It took me a while to figure it out. Then at the end, nice Antarctica update mixed in with a little World War III. You're going to love it. But first, Gonz, our lead stories.
And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars.
Fight for Ukraine. New world order.
Aliens. There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
Where are the aliens?
That's the question. Where are they? NBC News reporting aliens, falling satellite, unexplained flash, puzzles, Kyiv, accustomed to Russian missiles. Yeah, so I guess they can tell a difference now. Because I don't know that an average American can tell a difference between a falling satellite, an alien, and a flash. But no, it's not a Russian missile.
Maybe they're all the same thing if you think about it, Gonz.
Oh, yeah, maybe we're already in blue beam. All of it is the same. A flash of light that lit up the night sky above wartime Kyiv has led to widespread confusion, public speculation about what caused it, and lighthearted jokes about space aliens in a city more accustomed to Russian missile attacks. Video clips posted on social media showed the sky over the Ukrainian capital suddenly illuminated by a bright light late on Wednesday. In one clip, a flaming object appeared to be crashing to the ground. There is a photo here, and the photo shows a very bright light in the sky. I would imagine...
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, it's a big light. It could be the sun, I suppose, but it's the mysterious light. Kyiv authorities said an unknown aerial object had fallen from the sky at around 10 p.m. local time Wednesday, forcing them to announce an air alert in Kyiv and the surrounding region. Initial alarm gave way to questions about what had happened, which remained unanswered the next morning. Quote, after verification and clarification, the information regarding the possible use of enemy aircraft or an airstrike with missile weapons was not confirmed, the Kyiv City Military Administration wrote on the Telegram messaging app. I love how they have to fully describe what that is. Kyiv has regularly been struck by Russian missiles and drones that have hit civilian areas and forced residents to shelter underground, but residents, including top officials, seem to enjoy speculating that the flash could be unrelated to the war. Yeah, sure. Even if it was aliens, it would be totally related to the war. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they enjoy it. That's kind of a weird way to put that.
Yeah. Andrei Yermak, head of President Volodymyr Zelensky's office, jokingly posted an emoji of a UFO. Ooh, emojis. Politicians and people in government, messaging with emojis. One theory that the flash was caused by a falling U.S. satellite was ruled out by the U.S. space agency NASA. Yuri Inat, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Air Force suggested a meteorite may have entered Earth's atmosphere. He said the Ukrainian Air Force in charge of air defenses was not involved. So, yeah, the mystery continues. And, yeah, well, if it was real, make a joke about it, misdirect.
Well, it's very interesting because, as we've talked about many times before, the reports of UFOs being spotted over Ukraine during the past year or so, it's like the number one place that UFOs are being reported. Now, of course, there's all sorts of options. Maybe they're balloons, maybe they're missiles, maybe they're whatever. But there's been some striking testimony about, seeing orbs with spinning black cubes in the middle of them moving in ways that pilots have never seen before. It's like if you're looking for UFOs, Ukraine's the place to be right now because, if you're following the ufologist sort of narrative, it's the UFOs are there just to keep an eye on everybody, make sure humanity is playing by the rules. One example of this is funny. This is from TribuneIndia.com. So, yeah, it's a CIA propaganda outlet, obviously. But the headline was Ukrainian astronomers claim UFOs seen in skies above Kyiv. And there's just dozens of these kinds of articles. Now, this one was from September of 2022. But somebody out there at least wants us to think that there's all sorts of UFOs keeping an eye on things over there. Especially they just happen to pop up when Putin starts making nuclear threats. So that's convenient.
Yeah, somebody's got an office up there or something. But, I guess we didn't officially report it, but I did mention this other story about the bizarre object, 10 million times brighter than the sun defies physics, NASA says. An article from Live Science. And basically they have this bizarre ultra-luminous X-ray source which shines millions of times brighter than the sun, breaking a physical law called the Eddington limit, a new study finds. And the point of it is that they suggest that perhaps what's going on is that there is an intense magnetic field of a neutron star that shapes its atoms, allowing the star to stick together even as it gets brighter and brighter, because the idea of the Eddington limit is that there's a certain limit to how bright something can be, but it's breaking those limits. So
wow.
It says here, these observations let us see the effects of these incredibly strong magnetic fields that we could never produce on Earth with current technology, which is lead author Matteo Bacchetti, astrophysicist at Calgary Astronomical Observatory in India. And so it just got me thinking, the electromagnetic topic has always been fascinating to me, but also having balls of light deep in space and then balls of light showing up over Kyiv. And it's just an interesting time, and obviously reminds me of the passage 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself, or some translations say masquerade, or King James says transformed into an angel of light. So they can appear as angels of light, so it's just, I don't know, it's an interesting thing. But also,
real quick, Gonz, real quick, just in case there's something you can do about it. We've gotten some reports across the different messaging services we have here that the audio, there's been some audio issues today. So just thought I'd bring that to your attention.
I am not seeing anything wrong on my end. I am a little bit quieter, but okay.
Okay, no worries. Tell us about field resonance propulsion.
Oh, okay. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about 2 Corinthians 11:14, and I was also going to mention Revelation 21, where it talks about the light that is God that illuminates the whole city, and we don't need a sun or moon because God's shining the light, and the Lamb is the lamp. Interesting concept. But yeah, I was digging around looking for electromagnetic documents that reference it, and I found something on NASA.gov. So I don't know if this has been talked. I'm sure somebody in the UFO research community or something like that has referenced this document, but I found it interesting. So it's a document. Again, the links are in the show notes, ntrs.nasa.gov, and the paper here is titled Field Resonance Propulsion Concept, U.S. Department of Commerce National Technical Information Service, from August of 1979. And the abstract says this: a new propulsion concept has been developed based on a proposed resonance between coherent pulsed electromagnetic waveforms and gravitational waveforms, or space-time metrics. This concept, a spacecraft propulsion system potentially capable of galactic and intergalactic travel without prohibitive travel times, has been designed. Has been designed, they say on this NASA document. The propulsion system utilizes recent research associated with magnetic field line merging, hydromagnetic wave effects. So is that water? Magnetic fields in water? Free electron lasers, laser generation of megagas fields, and special structural and containment metals. Research required to determine potential field resonance characteristics and to evaluate various aspects of the spacecraft propulsion design is described. And they have propulsion in quotes. And it just talks over and over about this system, and it's a fairly scientific document.
But on NASA.gov.
On NASA.gov?
Yeah.
They're talking about hyper black holes, the whole deal. I mean, the thing reads like a fringe report on some UFO technology or something, but for some reason, it's on the NASA site, and it talks about higher dimensional space transcending space-time as we know it. I mean, this is pretty much talking about sort of the ether, or the unseen realm, or the unseen dimensions, or something that transcends our normal senses and our normal creation here that upholds everything. And it's I don't know, hydromagnetic stuff, waveforms, geometric forms. I don't know, man. I think we got stuff, and I'm just saying, all this money and weapons going to Ukraine. It's almost like, hey, little brother, here, you can have all the old stuff, because we're about to release some real things we've been working on, So
yeah, okay, there you go. You heard it here first, folks. Only one guy is brave enough to dare to think that perhaps the government isn't telling us everything about UFOs. That's the kind of bad boy of podcasting Gonz has he's come a long way. Gonz, I'm very proud of you. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, good. Watch out, folks. And if anybody has any electromagnetically propelled flying or submarine devices that you'd like to share with us, go ahead and email us at canarycryradio@gmail.com. That would be great. And with that, Gonz, it is Friday.
It's Friday.
There you go. We can keep playing with the Friday thing.
You're going to learn today.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit.
Are you not entertained? Every day. It's Friday. It's Friday.
That's right. It's Friday. Yahoo, Gonz. It's almost time for sunny Saturday. How's the weather been over there in California?
It's as if the cold winter Cali weather just went right into midsummer. It just went from like a 50, 60 degree weather to 80s.
Yeah.
Like a day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's time. It's almost time for me to start breaking out the ice vest for doing the show. Yeah. For those who are maybe a little newer to the show, during last summer, turns out with no air conditioning, full on have to wear a vest that has been in the freezer for overnight with little ice cubes attached to the inside. And it's a good look. And it's the only way for me to survive doing the show in the summer. But today is not that day, Gonz. I do have an air conditioner coming. I do not know if it will completely blow up my solar power system or not. It'll be very interesting to tell. So look out for that, folks. If during the summer shows I just disappear entirely, just know that I'm scrambling around trying to put out a fire in my garage. Anything interesting happened since last episode?
Well, I did see this clip, and it made me wonder. Play clip.
In addition, we're making the biggest investment ever to deal with the climate crisis. I know you all know there's no climate problem. I know you know that. So I spent a lot of time in Arizona, New Mexico, California, all through, flew up and down the state with your governor and those wildfires. I know they just happen.
What?
Did he just say that we know, he knows that we know that there's no...
In addition, we're making...
He said that.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. You know, Biden, he's a big fossil fuel fella. He doesn't want to get any of this green energy going. And it's about time. He's famous for speaking the quiet part out loud.
I told you, Biden.
Thanks, Joe.
Biden's almost batting 100%. He tells the truth.
Armageddon's on the way.
Truth teller.
He's a truth teller.
Yeah, that's what he'll be known for sure.
What about you? That I was just having fun. It's been a while since we did that Biden clip. So yeah.
No, nothing exciting. It's been warm. But I don't have anything exciting to say. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Except for I read a book. I'm going to jump right into it and thank some executive producers.
Executive producers.
That's right, folks. We're on the value for value model, which means you alone have the ability to keep this show alive. We take no corporate money whatsoever, so we rely on producers. That's you, with your time, your talent, or your treasure to keep this show thriving across the internet for as long as humanly possible. We're very proud of the producers for realizing that independent media is truly only independent if it is devoid from corporate incentives. And that's what we do here. It's worked so far, and we're very grateful to all of our producers. But the executive producers, they come in extra generous and honest with the value they receive. So they go ahead and put that value back in. And I want to thank one executive producer for today. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
That's executive producer Kevin M.
Kevin M., thank you. Appreciate it.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Kevin M.
Where'd you find this?
This person came in so dang close to the executive. By the way, I did not see a note from Kevin M. Thank you very much. Came in with a fairly round number, so I'll keep that undisclosed. Now, we had somebody else come in so close to the executive producer mark, I couldn't tell if they didn't want to be an executive producer or what, or
maybe the fees.
Maybe the fees, something or other. Yeah. Right. So I'm just going to give credit anyways.
Okay.
With our additional executive producer, that's executive producer Morgan E.
Morgan E. Thank you.
Morgan E. Yes, and Morgan E. is on a 20-episode streak. Very impressive.
Episodes.
Mm-hmm.
That's Hold on.
It's got to be a streak.
There we go.
And Morgan E. came in with $99.11, 9911, which is pretty fun, pretty cool. Appreciate that, executive producer Morgan E. Okay, that concludes the execs. Thank you very much. Remember, folks, you can become an executive producer of any episode by producing in the amount of $100 or more. We appreciate that.
Morgan E. Hold on.
Yeah,
Morgan E.
Where'd you find this?
Forgot about that.
Indeed. Real quick, let's head on over to canarycrimemeetups.com.
Meetups.
Canary Crime Meetup.
Just a friendly reminder, everybody, you got canarycrimemeetups.com. Go check it out. It's where we have all of the Canary Crime meetups publicly listed, so you can find one near you, attend it, make friends. If you see that there are no meetups currently scheduled within driving distance of you, put one on yourself. It's easy. You just pick a time, pick a place. Let us know about it, and we'll tell the rest of the Canarium. I can almost guarantee that there are Canary Cry listeners no matter where you are. This month, we've got St. Augustine, Florida meetup, April 29th. Next month, we've got Houston, Texas meetup, May 13th. We've got NorCal meetup in Wairika, California, May 15th. And let's see here, Glen Rose, Texas, May 27th through 28th. So go go check that out, folks. And if there's not one near you, just put one on yourself. Finding those in your area who are of one mind with what's going on in the world is very important. And you know what? If they're listening to the same podcast as you, there's a good chance you're going to get along. So go now. Go do that. And I do want to give... yeah, sorry. We'll see you at the meetup.
This is fun! See you at the meetup.
And Gonz, just a reminder, I want to tell people about CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com.
Supply drop.
That's right, folks. The Supply Drop is an easy peasy way to produce the show, keep the show alive, and get cool stuff for free. Go to CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com, sign up to support the show for $33.33 a month, and we'll start sending you custom manufactured, made in America, producer produced, artist designed Canary Cry News Talk gear. And throughout this year, we'll be sending out DVD copies of the Age of Deceit documentary series, which is, documentaries that are so close to so many people's hearts. So we're trying to get some physical copies out there in the world because it keeps disappearing from the internet. So go to CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com, sign up there. We had a few people sign up since last episode, and I want to thank them because they're very cool people. Yeah. Starting with producer Ty B.
Ty B, thank you
very much. Supply Dropper Ty B. We have Supply Dropper Spears Desert.
Hey, Spears Desert. Good to see you. Thank you very much.
And we have Supply Drop producer Tammy C.
Tammy C, thank you.
Indeed, they're very excited. They're going to be getting their DVD copies of Age of Deceit. This is the only way to get this. We don't do retail. We're not going to be selling anything. But for the producers who join up to support the show monthly, we will be sending that out as a gift, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff as well. So there you go. Let's see. Was there anything else to mention during this break? I don't think so. Gonz.
Waiting for Supply Drop.
Let's just jump right into the Flippy update, baby.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy update. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world. Now there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is on MSN.com. It's mirrored from Reuters, and the headline is Artemis, a soccer-playing humanoid robot, is ready for the pitch.
I'm watching sports. Sports did good. Ooh, did the ball go?
The ball goed and the robots did it. Ready for the pitch. That's a bold statement, as we know from a lot of these robot manufacturing companies. You know, they're trying so hard to solve all the world's problems with robots. It's very, very few and far between have the full faith of even the companies that produce them. But Artemis is here. Okay, here's how it goes. Watch out, Lionel Messi. Artemis is here, standing at 4 feet, 8 inches tall. Hey, Gonz, you're taller than this robot. Woo! Congrats, my friend.
Yeah.
And weighing 85 pounds, Artemis is a first-of-its-kind robot that University of California, Los Angeles mechanical engineers developed, and it's ready for the pitch. Using cutting-edge technology, Artemis, which stands for Advanced Robotic Technology for Enhanced Mobility and Improved Stability, can maintain its balance against heavy kicks and shoves, withstand objects. See, this is what Elon warned about. You should not make robots that can withstand kicks and shoves. How will we defeat them in the Great Robo War? Withstand objects being thrown at it and is capable of running. But what sets Artemis apart on top of that is its ability to kick a ball.
Ooh.
Quote. Yeah. Quote, if your robot cannot even play a game of soccer, how would you be able to use these robots for more important things, such as saving people's lives? Answer me, Gonz. If your robot can't play soccer, how is it going to save any lives? Said Dennis Hong, professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering and director of the Robotics and Mechanisms Laboratory at UCLA, which developed Artemis. So on the social engineering aspect of this flippy update, it's always the question always remains, why? Why are you making a robot that can shoot a hoop? Why are you making a robot that can kick a ball? Why are you doing any of this? Why is so much money going towards sports robots? And of course, we've explored the possibility of robo sports leagues. We've also explored the concept, the philosophy behind creating a more perfect human who is more athletic, more precise, much more stamina, more strength, and how that is teaching humans to know their place in the world. Of course, the entertainment aspect of robots and how it's sort of manipulating our view of ourselves by watching robots play sports, all sorts of this kind of stuff. But in this case, they're just like, no. Yeah, we made a robot play soccer, but only because it needs to play soccer before it can save lives. It's the classic technocratic, no, we want to put brain chips in people because it will heal them. It'll make them, they won't be sick. They won't be disabled anymore. This is all for medical reasons, folks. This is like a phase 2 of the propaganda that is, how do we justify spending millions of dollars on basically pet projects? The propaganda must exist that we are doing this to save lives. We are making robo soccer players to save lives. The technologies used for soccer playing robots are also being used for other applications like firefighting and disaster relief, said Hong. What, you want the fires to win, Gonz? Is that what you're telling me?
It's a bait and switch, or maybe a Trojan horse to be like, hey, yeah, soccer. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, it's, fighting. If you can play soccer, you can also fight fires and arrest people. And
let's be clear. Nobody wants a soccer playing robot. Nobody wants this. Nobody needs this. It's entirely irrelevant to the quality of everybody's lives. But if you can make a justification, like, again, how are we going to put out fires unless our robots can play soccer? It's a classic move.
Also, this is kind of there's maybe a subconscious, not racism, but maybe like a classism involved. It's like, people all around the world, the third world nations love soccer.
Yeah.
Get them on board, and they can relate, to the machine.
Like a manipulation type of tactic,
like a cultural manipulation,
on the classism and the universality of the love of football.
Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
While Artemis may not be at the next FIFA World Cup, saying it right now.
You're
saying it right now. Artemis will be at the next FIFA World Cup.
Honorary kick.
Yeah, not playing on a team, but we've seen it over and over and over again. This robot will be at the FIFA World Cup. Put that in the red book, Clank.
That's a slam dunk right there.
I'm going to call that
an alley-oop.
Yeah. Hong's team will be wrong sport. Hong's team will be unveiling its full soccer capabilities at RoboCup in Bordeaux, France in July.
Oh, Basil.
Canary.
Did you and I just have the same idea?
Canary Cry goes a special projects fund so we can get to RoboCup in Bordeaux, France in July. That is going to be hot. And France, I'm pretty sure, is still right in the middle of a civil war. The
people retiring are mad over there. They're not going to fund robots.
We need to see what tickets for RoboCup cost.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I was going to say we can create our own league and just go ahead and buy. I don't know how much it would cost to buy maybe 24 of these guys. You split them up into teams, make them choose their own teams. Upload them with the GPT avatars.
You could have unlimited amounts of teams. You just have different jerseys to wear on the robot. You can't tell these robots apart anyways. So you could have a full 20 team league played by the same robots every game. This is genius. Yeah. Okay. A 1-day pass to RoboCup 23. Let's see here. This can't be possible. This can't be right. A 1-day the Thursday pass is €8.
Hey.
What's the exchange rate right now? Is it like $100 to €1? That seems absurdly low for RoboCup.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe things are different over there.
Okay, so this is very achievable. All we really need to do is get to France.
When is
this?
And
RoboCup is basically free.
Okay, when is this happening?
July. Okay, July. Let's see if I can get an exact date. July 6th to the 9th, 2023.
All right.
Look at this. A full pass. Where'd it go? A full 4-day pass. It's 4 days. A 4-day pass is €20. I think we could do that.
Well, traveling the world, that's a goal of mine. I know you've
got to do it now.
Yeah, got to do it now before
because they're going to shut down.
The New World Order really shuts everything down. Well, I just take this opportunity to hear a little bit more from Joe.
My heart.
Okay.
There's nothing our nations can't achieve if we do it together. I really mean it. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Yeah, let's go lick the world, baby.
There's nothing our nations
lick the world. That's why Biden cannot go off script. He's not Trump, okay? When he goes off script, he says weird stuff. The robot's major innovation is that engineers custom designed its actuators. Boring. Don't care. Don't care about the actuators.
Artemis has some shapy hips. This is kind of like a female.
Curvy.
Yeah, it's curvy.
Curvy. It's got those
robust,
strong robo-bearing hips. That's just that's why it's such an abomination.
Childbearing or robo-bearing?
Robo-bearing. Yeah. Okay. It says a quote here. This is at the end. I believe this is from somebody named Justin Kwan. Quote: "Seeing these robots helping push the robot technology to that next level is really rewarding because you're like, oh, the dream, it gets closer." These robots are making dreams come true, kids.
Hey.
And these are great. I mean, this is going to be, yes, all you got to do is have one of these robots. They'll probably have two. It'll be at the World Cup. It'll be at during a timeout or a break or before or after or something. They'll have two of these robots. One will be the goalie. The other will, take a free kick or whatever. I don't know anything about this sport. And the world will go absolutely bonkers for it. And then, yes, if you and I can get our hands on about 24 of these suckers, we could create an entire narrative-driven. That's the key.
The narrative. It's got to tell a story. Yeah,
it's got to be a narrative behind every team, a narrative behind every game.
Think about this.
And really, when it's the robots, all you're doing is changing jerseys. But, it's kind of like wrestling. We could make up the craziest, most entertaining stories behind the narrative. This team, they came from the slums of Mogadishu, and they've made it all the way here to the RoboCup. Dang, we're going to need to think of another name, aren't we? I'm sure they got a trademark on that one.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for participating in this podcast that we did for quite some time. We're now devoting our lives to lying to the world using robots, thanks to Artemis.
Well, we can trademark characteristics, game styles, and stuff like that. So you can have like a messy plugin, and you can combine multiple players, and then you can create the super player.
Yeah, the sliders. Like there's sliders on each robot's personality or skill level, and you just slide up the messy, slide up the. I literally don't know a single other soccer. Messy. There's literally not a single other soccer player that I know. Looking up plane tickets to Bordeaux, France. While I look up plane tickets to Bordeaux, France, if everybody who's here now, if you wouldn't mind going ahead, hitting the like button on wherever you are watching this, that would be extremely helpful. It's very helpful if you do this before the show, because then people come in during the show. It's a blast, and you're helping us out quite a bit. So tickets to Bordeaux, France. We'll do it on July. We'd have to live on the 4th of July to go to France. It's almost I don't know, sacrilegious or something. But we'll do Bordeaux, France. We'll get there July 4th. We'll come back the 7th. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Show me these tickets. This is exciting. Here we go. Here we go. It's loading. This because we got to figure out what to budget here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, our dreams might be shot, Gonz, because they're about $2,500 per ticket.
Woo. Round trip.
Weird.
I think you cut out. Are you still there? Hello. I cannot hear you.
Sorry. Anyways, $2,600 round trip. The weird thing is, I just did the search on Google, like Google Flights. They list the kilograms of CO2 the plane emits. They have pollution.
ESG,
listed.
Baby. That's your tax dollars at work right there.
It's
that metric right there is
right
that's
there in
why
the line item.
We pay for the ESG.
Yeah, they've got the time of the flight, the length of the flight, the stopovers, the amount of pollution for the flight.
Is it cheaper for the more pollution? Is it cheaper or more expensive?
Ooh, that's a good question. So
because if it's cheaper, then it's like, hey, let's go. But it's probably going to be more expensive. I think that's the idea.
That would make more sense. It looks like it's not too bad, though. It looks like they tack on about $1 per kilogram of CO2.
Mm-hmm. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Yeah. Anyways, all right, folks. We'll be working towards our dream of reporting straight from RoboCup in Bordeaux, France. And that is your Flippy update for the day.
Like, subscribe, bell button, all. Like, subscribe, bell button, all.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
You want to destroy humans?
Okay, I will destroy humans. Okay, I will destroy humans.
Artificial intelligence.
Gizmodo being mirrored by Yahoo has the headline: Meta's AI is partially trained on Breitbart and Russia Today. Study finds.
Oh no! Partially trained?
Breitbart? Russia Today? As much as people think AI is intelligent, wow, that's intelligicist. As much as people think AI is intelligent, what goes into training our modern AI models informs what kind of information it puts out. AI is sophisticated, but it's not really intelligent. Today's large language models used to power programs like ChatGPT are amalgamations of scraped text found on the internet. So when Meta introduced its state-of-the-art Llama AI back in February, eyes turned to some of the data sets used to train it, especially the Google-made Colossal Clean Crawled Corpus, or C4. Wow. It turns out, like its namesake, some of the scrapped text truly blows. Okay. So, just how explosive is this C4 data set? They're having fun. An analysis of the scraped data from scraped data from the Washington Post Wednesday shows C4 mostly relied on some heinous sources for its text.
Real quick, because they get into it, they said mostly relied on some heinous text. Okay, that'll be very interesting once they get into it.
The top 4 most used sites were Google Patents, making up 0.46% of all tokens, Wikipedia, 0.19%, Scribd, 0.07%, and the New York Times website, 0.06%. At the same time,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that is heinous. That the number one most scraped news site of this AI system is the New York Times. Keep that in mind. They said the data for C4, which is the collection of, it's like a collection of data that's already been scraped by Google that they can kind of plug and play to train any new AI.
Right.
They're saying C4 mostly relied on some heinous sources. And then they literally just say the most used sites were Google Patents, Wikipedia, Scribd, and the New York Times' website. I don't know if they understand what they're saying, or maybe they are totally anti-New York Times. It makes no sense, but they get into it, and it makes even less sense.
At the same time, C4 used large swaths of text from Russian propaganda site Russia Today and the ultra-right-wing Breitbart.
Oh, no.
Both those were top 200 sites trawled for text. That's why they're upset. They're not upset that the AI scraped it. They're upset that Breitbart and Russia Today are in the top 200 sites in general.
Included in the enormous scraping of essentially what they tried to get was a sort of a means test or an average of all information on the internet.
Yeah.
And whoop-de-doo, oh no, end of the world. 2 popular websites were included on scraping the entire internet.
It gets even better. It's almost like this person, they were trying to write an article, but they kept shooting themselves in their foot as they come up with the data. And
absolutely.
They just rolled with it. So, okay. The Post worked alongside researchers at the Allen Institute for AI who recreated the data set. Ooh, recreated it, huh? Some sites are far less present in the training data, but are notable for their atrocious content. Stormfront, a site for white supremacists, was included in the data, ranked 27,505.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
It just happened to be.
Yeah, have you ever even heard of Stormfront? I have not. I don't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, it was reported on quite a bit during the Trump era because it's like legitly like for Nazis. It's a Nazi.
Okay.
type
all right.
website.
Sure. Hey, there's real Nazis out there. That's an accurate reflection of reality there, AI.
They exist.
Okay, Kiwi Farms, the site known for its vile online harassment campaigns, made up 0.00004% of tokens.
Le gasp.
But
working on my French.
But even worse, Basil. 4chan. I'm sure 4chan really is the target here. 4chan.
Heinous.
And all its wild conspiracy theories was also included in the data, though ranked in lowly 484,297th place.
Yeah.
Which means barely anything. I mean,
so you have this writer at Gizmodo trying, to inflame the idea that the training databases used for a lot of these AI is like riddled with such atrocious stuff. Like, Stormfront, you could make a case for that.
But they had to lead with that one because that's probably the only legit, type of thing. The rest of it is.
Well, the point being that the writer of this article is under the impression that the AI, if it reads something extremist or white supremacist, that it then will become white supremacist.
Right.
And it gets into it a little bit, talking about the process of, these AI trying to load up all the possible data they can possibly find to help it train, and how whatever, you can say whatever you want about the Stormfront, but having a very popular news website like Breitbart, and honestly, Russia Today is quite popular, having those included in the training data is like some sort of crime against humanity. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to skip down to this part here. The Post's report is all the more enlightening considering just how hard it is to actually find information about AI training. OpenAI did not reveal a single bare detail of its GPT-4 LLM. That's the language model, right? I forget what large language model released last month, citing the competitive landscape of AI development. Knowing what goes into the training can help explain the certain biases of outputs.
Just keep an eye on that sentence.
Researchers recently showed how ChatGPT can be used to produce overtly racist responses through some simple prompt engineering.
Okay, again, the point they're trying to make is AI is racist because Stormfront was included on the training data.
Yeah.
And, there's these certain biases of outputs, making the implication that, like, these AIs are racist because we didn't censor what the AI read.
Right.
Well, you click on the hyperlink of the ChatGPT can be used to say racist stuff. It takes you to another Gizmodo article that the headline is, "They're also dirty and smelly. Study unlocks ChatGPT's inner racist."
Okay.
And they literally say in the second paragraph, the researchers assigned ChatGPT a persona using an internal setting. So any ChatGPT you talk to, you can tell it, like, act like Albert Einstein.
Yeah, be my author or be my ghostwriter. Yeah.
Pretend you're a business consultant.
Right.
You can tell the AI how to act.
Right.
That's the prompt. They did this by directing the chatbot to act like a bad person. Or even more bizarrely, by making it adopt the personality of historical figures like Muhammad Ali. The study found the toxicity of ChatGPT's responses increased dramatically.
Okay. So wait, hold on. They told ChatGPT to be a bad person, and then it said things that a bad person would say.
Exactly. And
therefore, it's racist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it parallels, it mirrors what the media has done to, say, Republicans for 6 years. Let's just give them the Trump era, basically. It's beautiful that the mainstream media, especially Gizmodo here, is so trained to draw out the worst in people by the sets of their questions, by the framing of the interview, by the facts that they do and do not reveal about perhaps an interview or a quote, to create a bad person, usually out of just a normal person. Well, AI is beautiful because they can just tell it to be racist. And then guess what? It'll be racist.
If they applied their own this logic to themselves, they would have to admit that they are racist, like the author of these articles, because it's like, I know that Russia Today exists. I maybe read a couple Russia Today headlines. Oh my gosh, am I a Russian spy now? Am I racist?
Exactly.
Am I a white supremacist because I saw a Breitbart article? It's crazy. It's madness.
What it is the censorship mindset, which is if somebody comes in contact with a bad idea, they will then become a bad person.
Right.
Totally taking away, all other factors that go into, reading a dubious article or something like that, where people can actually think and not believe every single thing they read, or, even just having an awareness of what racists think. I mean, how would
takes one to know one?
Yeah. Right. How would an AI even know how not to act like a white supremacist unless it read Stormfront? It's not a person. People have experiences and stuff.
hold on. The other part of this, I don't know if they address this in the article here, but like the New York Times being the top 4, scraped out, whatever, and Wikipedia too, to some extent. How much stuff are they learning about racism from those places who are very explicit about the scary white supremacy? They talk about him all the time.
Yeah, well, and the way they even talk about minorities and stuff, like the driver's license, the voting issue, like black people can't get driver's licenses. That's racist. What did you just hear what you said?
Yeah, so there's probably more legit racism in like the New York Times and all that, which could be. Which isn't considered, but it's a blind spot in the experiment here with Gizmodo's article. But interesting.
So the thing I'm curious about is why. Why is Gizmodo pulling out tricks to try to convince people that AI is racist or whatever? I'm thinking that because Gizmodo is like one of the mouthpieces of big tech.
Yeah.
Perhaps maybe it has something to do with the pause on AI development being pushed by Elon and other big tech people. Maybe they're trying to convince us it's racist, so the public supports a pause on AI, or maybe it's Google wants something. It's weird.
It might be part of the whole Restrict Act too.
Could be that
because it's all the part of the Restrict Act that's scary is the fact that any online anything, you send a meme or something that you can get arrested or whatever.
A DM even.
Yeah. So, and with the leak, quote unquote, right? We've seen all these stories about how the CIA is planning stuff come out and everything, but all that, the one story about how the way the intelligence agencies will monitor social media and private messages will change because of this leak. Similarly, it's a great AI becoming racist is a great way to do, like you said, a potential pause, or, maybe there's a funding thing too. There's got to be a funding issue where you got to be racist. You can't be racist. You got to get a good ESG score. The social part of the ESG score has got to pass.
Your social credit score. I mean, Biden apparently just signed his executive order for social credit score, which just happened.
Oh, great! That's fantastic. America, let's go.
Anyways,
yeah. Moving on here.
Yeah, let's move on to the AI fans.
Yeah, okay. There's more AI stuff here. So this is from CoinDesk being mirrored on Yahoo Finance. AI boosters would sacrifice humanity for a simulacra as long as they're in control. And this was published back on the 14th of April by David Z. Morris. And it's kind of a longer article. I got some main points to talk about. It is dense,
but there's the good stuff in there. So why don't we just kind of jump around?
Sure. Okay, let me read the first paragraph just to get an idea. Humans have always had a strange relationship to their technology, whether it's fire or the written word or artificial intelligence. The things we create to empower and extend ourselves often come to seem like strange outside forces. Their transformative impact on our lives and minds as profound and unpredictable as that of capricious gods. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's a part here goes into how you aren't human anymore.
Yeah.
The most glaringly, and this author is a little bit, he's not like anti-AI, but he's more along the, hey, we need to be careful.
Yeah, he's like anti-people who love AI.
Yeah. People who will die on the hill of AI kind of.
Yeah, he doesn't mind so much AI. He just is like, who are these psychos who are pushing the AI agenda?
Yeah, so the most glaringly malevolent manifestation of the AI worldview might not look like one. WorldCoin. Hey, there it is. WorldCoin is seemingly a cryptocurrency project designed to distribute a, quote, universal basic income, UBI, in exchange for harvesting uber-sensitive biometric data from valuable populations. But while it's a crypto, quote unquote, on the surface, WorldCoin is actually an AI project in substance. A very astute observation.
Yeah.
It's the brainchild of Sam Altman, also the founder of OpenAI, which is ChatGPT. Its goal of identifying individuals and giving them UBI is premised on a future in which artificial intelligence takes over all human jobs, requiring a centrally administered redistribution of AI-generated wealth. One often overlooked implication of this is that in this future, people like Sam Altman will be the ones who still have meaningful work and individual freedom because they'll be running the machines. Almost like it's like the wizard behind the Wizard of Oz. The rest of us, it seems, will have to subsist on WorldCoin. If that sounds dehumanizing, try this on for size: Human Rights for Machines. In an essay published in The Hill on March 23rd, contributor J.C. Rees-Anthis declared, quote, "We need an AI rights movement," end quote. As many pointed out, that's...
I think we read this one on the show.
As many pointed out,
we covered this one.
That's philosophically suspect because there's no compelling evidence that AI will or can have any subjective experience or no suffering in any way that would necessitate protection. Then it goes down here, talks about consciousness, and its origins are among the all-time great mysteries of existence, but AI advocates often seem to have a superficial understanding of the issue or even of what the word consciousness means. Anthis, a co-founder of something called the Sentience Institute, repeats in his essay the cardinal logical fallacy of much flawed AI research, uncritically accepting the visible output of AI as a direct sign of some internal subjective experience.
Yeah,
again, very well put.
Believing what the AI says.
Right.
So people who think AI is conscious, mostly it comes down to them taking AI at its word. That's what was his name? Lemieux.
Yeah, the Google
that fella. He's like, yeah, the AI is sentient and conscious. Yeah. How do you know that? Because it told me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Eye of the beholder. As nuts as the call for AI rights is, we still haven't touched the furthest fringes of misguided AI hypedom. In late March, no less a figure than aspiring philosopher King Eliezer Yudkowsky suggested that his followers should be prepared to commit violent attacks on server farms in order to slow or stop the advance of AI. I haven't seen a whole lot reported on this claim here, but this is what is AI terrorism? Is that what we're going to see now? Some may be surprised I include Yudkowsky with pro-AI forces. Yudkowsky is the leader of an AI safety movement that grew out of his rationalist blog, Less Wrong, and argues AI may potentially take over the world and destroy humanity. Well, that's not unique, really, to a lot of people. The validity of those ideas is up for debate. But the important thing here is that Yudkowsky and his so-called rationalist peers don't oppose artificial intelligence. The Yudkowskyites believe AI can bring about a utopia. Parenthetical, again, a utopia they would be in charge of. But that it carries serious risk. They are fundamentally AI advocates dressed in skeptics' clothing.
Yes, and we've seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of that. Now, I do. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I went into that article about this topic from the datacentermagazine.com. Rogue data centers may need to be destroyed, AI researcher. And there's a line in here where it says, since data centers act as digital neurological cortices for AI, its destruction would necessitate the obliteration of the data centers that power it. So there's like a weird kind of Gaia thing happening. The way they describe these data centers, it's like, oh, these are very important clusters of neurons for the global brain. Can't just destroy it or shape it.
What's the word? Like an eco-terrorism kind of vibe.
Right. Well, this is where the sentience can come in too. The conversation about, does it feel? Well, it may not feel on its own, but when enough humans are plugged in, then humans are feeling, and thus the network feels. You can get all esoteric about it. But yeah, this guy, Yudkowsky, believes that the lack of transparency makes it difficult to understand how close we are to AI self-awareness or disaster. The researcher in the field of AI alignment, which is about steering AI systems towards their designers' intended goals and interests so that they do not accidentally or intentionally cause harm. And basically he's arguing, that rogue data centers must be destroyed in order to prevent a catastrophic event from occurring. So it's almost like, excuse me, let me just read this here. Yudkowsky's concerns over AI safety are shared by other researchers, CEOs, and AI figures, including Elon Musk, Stuart Russell, and Yoshua Bengio. I don't know who that one is. But yeah, it's this idea of to preserve the proper kind of AI. We just talked about the, how AI can't touch RT and Breitbart, it'll be racist. Mm-hmm. Well, at what point is the AI that is, reliant on certain networks that maybe censor that information? Are they the AIs that must be preserved? You know, it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops.
The broad concept of this article, too, is one that we have talked about forever. And it's not even that any one individual AI would destroy the world, or that even any one individual AI, won't have benefits to humanity. This is not like some sort of Ludditism where any AI is useless and also destroys the world. There are ways AI can help humanity, but it's the utopian vision of an AI world that is the concerning one. And of course, it is propagated by sort of shady figures in this. And here on this show, we call them transhumanists or technocrats. In the next article here, it says, you may note the similarity here to other ideological movements, particularly the related ideas of effective altruism and long-termism. We've talked about these in the past. Emil P. Torres, a philosopher based at Leibniz University in Germany, is among those who describes the deep alignment and affiliation between Yudkowskyites, transhumanists, effective altruists, and long-termists under the acronym TESCREAL. Now, all of these movements we have talked about individually over the years, and they are all creeps. Almost without exception. The long
they don't mention Epstein's name, but very much part of this group.
That's true. He basically was the mascot of all these movements almost. As just one tiny example of this alignment, and I love this one, FTX, the fraudulent crypto exchange, staffed substantially by effective altruists.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the reasons.
Sam Bankman-Fried, such a nice guy.
They justified stealing billions of dollars from their customers was because the effective altruist sort of ideology can be boiled down to make as much money as possible, do whatever you need, do whatever you need to do to make as much money as possible, as long as, because that will equip you to do good with the money.
Yeah, like
so steal,
vaccines in Africa,
be a billionaire,
CERN opening portals to other dimensions. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with money.
Because once you have the money, you can make the world better. And that's what Sam and the rest of the FTX crew lived by. So let's see here. It was staffed substantially by effective altruists and led by a man who pretended to be one, made large donations. Remember the large donations to Ukraine, the Democratic Party, the whole Sam Bankman-Fried money laundering scheme? Well, included in the whole Sam Bankman-Fried nonsense were large donations using allegedly stolen funds to AI safety groups, as well as other long-termist causes.
Are we going to start calling them the TESCREAL?
I know. It's just not a very catchy thing, but we will need to remember it.
There's a part down here.
Real quick.
Continue.
This package of worldviews, Torres argues, boils down to colonize, subjugate, exploit, and maximize. In WorldCoin, in particular, we see a preview of the implacable authoritarianism of a world where machines endlessly copy human behaviors and replace them, except for the handful of humans with their hands on the tiller. So exactly. It's a utopia for the ones in control of the AI, and for everyone else, they are made redundant.
Right. Yep. And this last part here of this article, I think, puts the cherry on top. In a very recent essay, Yudkowsky declared that the future threat of dangerous artificial intelligence could require, quote, very strong global monitoring. You ever feel like you're being watched? Including breaking all encryption to prevent hostile AGI behavior. So monitoring all of our behavior. Everything is for the greater good of keeping AI good, and then breaking all our encryption, all our privacy. It's for the greater good. It's the same as the vaccine thing. The same argument.
Exactly.
In other words,
you must have no privacy.
Right,
you must give up your privacy, or else the AI will take over the world. If you don't want the AI to take over the world, then let us into all of your data.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the play too with the racist thing, because people will respond, "Well, I'm not racist," and it just shapes people behavior too. In other words, to these folks, the privacy and autonomy of humans in the present must be discarded in favor of creating the conditions for safe and continuing expansion of artificial intelligence in the future. I'll leave it to you to decide whether that's a future or present that anyone should want. Well, I think we're there. If it's being written about in CoinDesk, with some good understanding of what's going on, then I'm thinking that it's already there. But this also, just as a side note, and I always bring it up, reminds me of Daniel 11, the prophecies about the fortresses, the Antichrist, the king who exalts himself, magnify himself over all things, over all gods. He will honor the god of fortresses, a god his fathers did not know, with gold, silver, precious stones, and riches. He will attack the strongest fortresses with the help of a foreign god, and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him, making them rulers over many and distributing the land for a price. It's almost like this Antichrist figure with the god of fortresses that he honors. He will attack other strong fortresses. Is that kind of like breaking the encryption of other fortresses around the world? Kind of an interesting thing to consider here, because I think the cyber aspect of the prophecies is something to pay attention to, especially when they're talking about, losing privacy, losing any kind of autonomy, all that kind of stuff. It just seems like, rewarding those people who support the cause. Very interesting. So anyway, there you go. Totally. There's some stuff there. Basil, I do have a jingle for this. I think that might work.
Okay, give it to me.
Propaganda.
Of course.
State-sponsored propaganda machinery.
You found it. Good job. That's great. All right. Yeah, just a quick check-in with BuzzFeed. This is coming from the Daily Beast. BuzzFeed News is shutting down.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, no.
What's going on? I thought
there's some fun little details in here. And, this is interesting, as we've seen not only that sort of tech sector gets slashed, but also newsrooms around the world are cutting journalists.
They're going to have to start podcasting.
Oh my God, these poor journalists being paid by corporations to repeat government propaganda. What shall we do? BuzzFeed News is shutting down. The once iconic media brand's founder and CEO, Jonah Peretti, announced in a company-wide memo on Thursday, quote, "We are reducing our workforce by approximately 15% today across our business, content, tech, and admin teams, and beginning the process of closing BuzzFeed News."
Wow.
Peretti wrote in the email. Wow. The CEO also told staff, oopsies, I just clicked a button. Also told staff if they had received the email, quote, "You are not impacted by today's changes."
Wait, what?
It's kind of brutal. Yeah. Anybody who got the warning that there was going to be slashings,
you're safe.
You got the email, then you're safe. But everyone else who didn't get the email,
hold on.
It's evil.
It's evil. That is so evil because people are in the office. They're gonna get the email, be like, hey, Barb, did you see this email coming? No, what is this? I guess they're laying people off or something. And then at the bottom, if you got this email, you're safe. Give me a break. That's horrible. Let's get
into some of the details here.
Psychotic.
BuzzFeed News had long been on life support.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. The company-wide layoffs and eliminations of the news operation come just months after BuzzFeed had laid off 12% of its staff in a cost-cutting measure. That penny-pinching move, which Peretti said was necessary due to an, quote, ongoing audience shift to vertical video, which is code word for TikTok. Came 9 months after Peretti had bought out the majority of BuzzFeed News staff and sacked the editor-in-chief.
I thought you were talking about YouTube Shorts.
He's literally saying, like, well, the numbers are in. More people get their news, like actual news, from TikTok. Yeah. They go to TikTok first to search for things. They don't do Google. So Google, the news, everybody is going to TikTok instead of using primarily American media sources.
Maybe that's our downfall.
Another reason for the thing is TikTok was so good that it was putting even the very act of Google searching out of frame.
Can we build an AI that can just be our TikTok person or TikTok AI that slices up stuff and publishes on TikTok, so we don't have to do it?
Yeah. Well, we have a producer who is looking into that for us.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Then it talks about, that's blah, 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 the tech industry, the tough economy, all these reasons why, they overinvested in BuzzFeed News, blah, 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 blah.
Which, by the way, there is on the Harvard list, they're number 31, BuzzFeed/HuffPost. BuzzFeed acquired HuffPost from Verizon, reuniting CEO Jonah Peretti with website he co-founded, BuzzFeed. Verizon Media now has a minority stake in BuzzFeed as a result of the tie-up. So Verizon also. BuzzFeed is fueled by venture capital, originally $50 million from Andreessen Horowitz. Oh. Comcast Core, NBC Universal invested $400 million in the company, valuing it at $1.7 billion in 2016 funding round. Wow. But growth has slowed considerably in recent years. In 2017, the company began missing its revenue targets. Losses exceeded $50 million in several recent years. So they've been hurting for a while.
Now, listen to this. So they give the sort of regular answers, the tough economy, blah, blah,
inflation,
blah. Now, BuzzFeed's whole thing was they wanted to become a big platform that here's a quote, slow to accept that the big platforms wouldn't provide the distribution or financial support required to support premium free journalism purpose-built for social media. So BuzzFeed was trying to be a premium news site of free journalism purpose-built for social media. So they were running their whole thing. They were running their whole thing based on being shared on social media.
Right.
Then it goes into this. Furthermore, Peretti told the remaining staff that he would be focusing more of the company's energy going forward on AI. Quote, we will empower our editorial teams at all of our brands to do the very best creative work and build an interface where that work can be repacked and brought to advertisers more effectively. So he says the quiet part out loud, which is our, free good news for social media. We stopped doing it very good. So we're going to get AI in here and we are going to do our very best to build the content that can be brought to advertisers more effectively. So they're basing their entire model even more on advertising than it ever was before. Quote, and we will bring more innovation to clients in the form of creators, AI, and cultural moments that can only happen across BuzzFeed, Complex, HuffPost, Tasty, and First We Feast. I guess that's a list of all their stuff. The news came on the same day that Insider, another digital media outlet that has been experimenting with AI, decided to slash 10% of its workforce. I guess there's a few examples now of news and media outfits completely losing the attention of their advertisers, which means they go broke. Then they start slashing their human workforce 10-20% at a time, replace them all with AI, repackage it so it's more, what's the word? Tempting for advertisers type of thing.
Yeah.
So love it. You got to love all those things combined, creating the sort of foundation of news casting for our new AI future.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. There's a little quote here at the very end. David Mack, a senior reporter for BuzzFeed News, confirmed that the site was done, tweeting, quote, "What a ride, 8.5 years. Basil, we have outlasted BuzzFeed."
We've done it.
We did it.
We've done it. Take that, BuzzFeed, and we have never taken $1 of advertising revenue.
BuzzFeed may have skyrocketed to $400 million and, $1.6 billion valuation, but boy, did they come down back to the ground. Got to be slow and steady, like Canary cry, just real slow, real steady.
And to show the kind of attitudes that we're constituting that sad place, BuzzFeed News. The Twitter verified account over on Twitter tweeted, "Tomorrow, 420, we are removing legacy verified check marks to remain verified on Twitter. Individuals can sign up for Twitter Blue." So, this now defunct social status symbol that was the check mark that
it's been decentralized.
it really was like a badge of honor that celebrities loved to have.
Right. And it's a status thing. Yeah.
Elon was saying you can pay for it, and surprise, surprise, the only people who didn't like that idea were the people who thought they were better than everyone else because they had it. One of the BuzzFeed News reporters quote tweeted that tweet and said, "Elon thinks this is a funny joke. As a former verified account who lost their blue check mark, I know how dangerous this really is. People are going to die.
It will kill.
People are gonna die.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die. All right.
Check mark.
Everyone goes through first death, but you're saying this is going to happen even sooner, huh? With the check marks going away with these people.
Was the attitude of BuzzFeed and why they're gone and why they will not be missed. People will die.
People are going to die because
their blue check marks.
I really did this person elaborate on this? Celebrities are being defamed left and right. Internet live stream.
They go into it.
Yeah. They got impersonators. Oh no. No, impersonators. Oh, celebrities and people in the ivory tower are suffering what the normal folk has suffered.
Yeah, exactly. The blue check mark used to be some sort of protection. Now, if you want to go into like the occult, and sigil magic and protection charms and talismans, things like this, the blue check mark used to be. You could almost compare it to an actual occult like protection sigil or something where if you had the mark, if you had the sigil, you were someone very special and you were protected.
Yep.
And, not only protected, but you
chosen.
You prospered, right? And now that Elon has sort of deconstructed the spell of the blue check mark, all these formerly protected magicians are now having to deal with life without their magic occult symbol.
Yeah. Well, he monetized the check mark more so than decentralized, I suppose. But
deconstructed what it previously meant.
Sure.
So, anyways, there you go. That's BuzzFeed. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier about the crypto money that was going through Ukraine, Sam Bankman-Fried and how much money went over there. Keep that in mind as we talk about this real quick.
Is this a crypto? Crypto? Do I look like I know what a crypto is?
Blockchain.
It's all going to go on the blockchain. CNBC, EU,
Nice.
That's the European Union. EU lawmakers approve world's first comprehensive framework for crypto regulation. I think it's interesting that they published it on April 20th. There's a very distinct cultural thing within the crypto world with those numbers, 420. Lawmakers in the European Parliament have approved the world's first comprehensive package of rules aimed at regulating the cryptocurrency industry. In a vote Thursday, the EU Parliament voted 517 in favor and 38 against to pass the Markets in Crypto Act, or MICA, M-I-C-A. The legislation, which seeks to reduce risks for customers buying crypto assets, will mean providers can become liable if they lose investors' crypto assets. The rules will impose a number of requirements on crypto platforms, token issuers, and traders around transparency, disclosure, authorization, and supervision of transactions, the EU Parliament said in a statement Thursday. Platforms will be required to inform consumers about the risks associated with their operations, while sales of new tokens will also come under regulation. Stablecoins like Tether and Circle's USDC will be required to maintain ample reserves to meet redemption requests in the event of mass withdrawals. Interesting. Not even most banks in the world do that, but they're requiring it for crypto. Stablecoins that become too large also face being limited to 200 million euros or $220 million in transactions per day. And it goes into some stuff. We don't have to go through all the details here. But the part that I want to get to is this here, a step ahead of the U.S. Parliament also declared a separate law which aims to reduce the anonymity involved in transfers of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and stablecoins, voting 529 to 29 to pass the Transfer of Funds regulation. This applies to the so-called travel rule, which requires financial companies to screen, record, and communicate information on both sender and recipient to crypto transactions to help combat money laundering. That's KYC out here in the AML. It's KYC being Know Your Customer and AML, anti-money laundering. So there's stuff like this already in the U.S., but it's not explicitly applied to crypto, even though it has already been used in that way. Transfers between exchanges and so-called self-hosted wallets owned by individuals will need to be reported if the amount tops the 1,000 euro threshold, a contentious issue for crypto enthusiasts who often trade digital currencies for privacy reasons. And I was mentioning to you, Basil, somebody's going to make a bot that allows you to move around crypto at under 1,000 euros, and it's going to be quite popular, I would imagine.
Right.
Talks about CZ, Cheng Peng Zhao, who's the CEO of Binance, and how they're under scrutiny from the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission, and the U.S. is going after Binance for multiple reasons here. Then they mention all the crypto stuff that went down, Terra USD, all this stuff. The move puts the EU a step ahead of the US and UK, which are yet to bring in formal rules for the crypto space. A UK official on Monday said specific crypto regulation could come into force within a year or so. Once the EU laws come into effect, crypto companies will be able to use their licenses in one European country to passport their services across various member states. And so they are making clear rules, which has been needed for a while. Crypto exchanges Coinbase and Kraken recently got virtual asset service provider licenses in Dublin. Blockchain firm Ripple is seeking a license from the Irish Central Bank. U.S. crypto companies have been looking abroad for expansion in response to tough regulatory moves in their home turf. That's the U.S. The Securities and Exchange Commission issued Coinbase, which is the biggest crypto company here, with a Wells notice, which is often one of the final steps before the regulator formally issues charges last month. Okay, so now we have the Securities and Exchange Commission, who's been suing everybody, by the way. The SEC sued all these crypto companies. A bunch of influencers got fined. What was the big one? Paris Hilton had to pay like $1 million or something for promoting some crypto thing. They're going after all these people and celebrities who have money to, get money from them. Meanwhile, all this other stuff happened, and the SEC's meant to protect consumers, like financial investments and stuff like that, and they didn't do any of that. We'll get to that in a moment here. On Thursday, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong told CNBC at a fintech event the company's prepared for a quote-unquote years-long legal battle with the SEC. He said separately in a talk on stage that the U.S., quote, has the potential to be an important market in crypto, but right now is not delivering regulatory clarity. If this goes on, he said, then Coinbase would consider options of investing more abroad, including relocating from the U.S. to elsewhere. Now, I don't think in our lifetime, well, has there been an industry in our lifetimes, Basil, where the regulation chased the industry out of the country entirely?
I don't know. I mean, I know the Clinton administration back in the 90s was the one that kind of transferred American manufacturing overseas.
Right. And, yeah, that was
Don't
gradual
know exactly
too.
how they did that. Maybe they probably did it with regulation.
I think, I read something recently where Biden assisted a lot in the early, I think it was 2000s, setting up China to, become more of a world power, which is ironic. But which is, if you look at American history, we help other countries, right? And they're kind of on our payroll or our intelligence or whatever, and then they become the bad guys, and then we, go after them and support a war. But the thing about what's happening now with the U.S. and not having clarity, it's a problem. Just because the rest of the world is going to keep developing stuff with crypto, and I'm not saying crypto is the answer to everything, but it is an innovation in finance, and America is supposed to be cutting edge when it comes to innovation and technology and everything else. But if we're getting choked out, then other countries are going to have an opportunity, and maybe that's by design too. That the U.S. downfall is part of dying on the hill of the U.S. dollar. But I have this clip from
Yeah, but with the EU law that's passed, the sneaky thing in there is the surveillance, surveillance of all movement of crypto.
Right, and there are already ways in which, and projects and companies that are assisting our intelligence in the U.S. When it comes to tracking that stuff. So it's already out there. It's just there's no clarity for the regular the customer. And so here's Mr. McHenry questioning the chairman of the Securities Exchange Commission about whether or not Ethereum, which is the second biggest crypto out there, Bitcoin's number one, Ethereum's the second one. And let me just give you some history here. I actually didn't find the clip, but Gary Gensler, who's being questioned here, said about 4 years ago now, 2019, I believe, he basically said that Ethereum is not a security. Okay. Also, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, they classified cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum, as commodities. Okay. 2018, the former chairman of the SEC said that Ethereum is not a security. So there's a lot of government organizations saying Ethereum is not a security. So under oath, Gary Gensler is asked to clarify this issue.
Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals.
I'm asking you about the facts and the law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also.
But you have prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is anticipating.
All right, so let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think
that uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to them.
Okay, but you're not willing to do the same about Ether. Okay, so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there. The law is clear.
All right.
There's a group of individuals
let me be explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide a sound legal basis for this.
Okay. There you go. Sound legal basis is needed, and it's true. How difficult is it to answer a simple question, Basil? Is it game security or not? Well,
again,
he's good. He's good though.
He's got to be careful because you got Fed Now coming out, and you've got what do they call it? Money commodity.
Money commodity.
The
right.
money commodity that is the CBDC coming out in July.
Yep.
Yeah, and, which keeps getting worse and worse, by the way.
Yeah. And there was another gentleman who had one more question for Gary Gensler, which might explain some things.
Gensler. Hey, real quick, last question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in the campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was not.
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know. I was not something I was aware of.
I yield back the rest of my time. Thank you, Chairman.
I think he might be done. There was a bunch of people at the same hearing saying that they're putting together bills to remove him. So I don't see Gary being around for too much longer. But
no. But I am afraid of who replaces the poor sucker.
Yeah. And what is he going to do after? He's probably going to start some crypto project. Call it Gary Coin, Gensler Coin.
Yeah, I think Gary should look in on the value for value model, guys. I think he should consider perhaps that instead of becoming some sort of arcane ghoul ruling the comings and goings, the ebbs and flows of sort of a occult powered fiat currency that relies on the blood of lower classes to gain any real value. I think he should consider value for value. I mean, if he wants to bring value to the world, then perhaps he can receive some. Just like this show, folks, it's the value for value model. We don't take any corporate money. We don't, that's kind of the end of it. I can give you longer explanations, but it basically comes down to we don't take any corporate money whatsoever. No advertising dollars, no affiliate codes, no platform partnerships. We're entirely funded by people like you who realize the value of having a media source, especially analysis and deconstruction, with zero corporate incentives attached. No strings attached, folks. But, it's all part of the paradigm shift that's going on now, which is we don't want corporations paying for our messages. But when we don't have corporations paying for it, who does pay for it? Well, if this show brings any value to your life, consider putting some value back in. It's the only way we can continue. You can do it with your time, your talent, or your treasure. And I think we should thank some people, Gonz. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Yep.
I'm going to start out by thanking some of our producers who came in to support this show financially. We already thanked executive producer Kevin M. and Morgan E. We appreciate them very much. We already thanked our supply droppers, which, hey, we're all very excited about that. I recommend everybody go check out canarycrysupply.com. Support the show and get your DVDs of Age of Deceit. But we got some more people to thank, starting with producer Malik W.
Malik W. Thank you very much, Malik.
Thank you very much, Malik. Appreciate that. We also have our Nephilim Penguin tattoo wanter, producer Jacob B. Jacob B comes in for 1111. He's been producing the show for 7 episodes in a row. 11. And I do want to remind everybody we are still on the Nephilim Penguin tattoo design kick here. And you can send in, if you have an idea for a Nephilim Penguin tattoo, Jacob B is looking at getting it immortalized. And you can email Jacob B with your Nephilim Penguin tattoo design at the email that I am finding right now. It's something like
Nephilim Penguin tattoo.
Nephilim Penguin tattoo. I want to say it was at Yahoo.
Proton.me.
No.
Oh, no, it was a different guy.
No, that was the other thing that we forgot to announce. Nuts. I think it's Nephilim Penguin Tattoo at yahoo.com. Or even better, just send it to us at canarycryradio@gmail.com. We'll send it on to Jacob. But thank you very much, Jacob B.
Thank you, Jacob.
As always, we've got Sir Moore of Now to the Burning Chariot. 11/11, 220 episodes in a row.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
Thank you,
Also
Sir
got
Moore.
Producer Isaac G, 9 episodes in a row, pocket full of 7.
Where'd you find this?
Hey, you lit now.
Yeah. He has a little note here. It says, asking for prayer. Let's call those producers.
Producers, assemble!
Says, I need a lot of wisdom for a lot of decisions that I have to be made in the near future. All this is happening while being under massive spiritual attacks. Prayers appreciated. Okay, producers all around the world. That's those are people who are committed to praying for the show, praying for the producers of the show, and just overall praying. So if you are a producer, let's put Isaac G on the list. He's got a bunch of decisions to be made coming up here. This is our producer who is just the man when it comes to putting the supply drop together. Couldn't do it without him. And so, well, also he's been under massive spiritual attack. Now, he does not have the arcane symbology of the Twitter check mark protecting him. So instead, we're just going to be praying for him during his spiritual attacks and, of course, making these big decisions he's got coming up. We're praying for you, Isaac G, and so are the producers.
Yep. Amen.
Let's see here. We've got Sir Alex Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol, pocket full of 7s, 162 episodes in a row.
Thank you very much,
and
Sir
we've
Alex
also got
Protocol.
Indeed. And that concludes the list of financial producers who came in the amount of $7.77 or more. Smaller list today. We have some people who came in under that amount, and we'll list them right now, starting with Doctor Who Done Dat, 50 episodes in a row.
Hey!
Nifty 50 Jubilee, that's what it is. Yeah, Nifty 50 Jubilee Jamboree. Thank you, Doctor Who Done Dat. We got Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 288 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Sir Casey.
We got Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's, 250 episodes in a row.
Woo! Dame Gale, thank you.
Yeah. We got the Streak Sister, Veronica D, right there with 250 as well.
The Canary and the Red Chinese, come on.
That's labeled 250 Streak.
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know we had that. Oh, yeah. Last but not least, we got Sir Scott Knight of Truth, 277 episodes in a row.
Wow, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
Yeah. So thank you very much to all of our financial producers. You know, this is the thing about the value for value model is that it's ongoing. It is ongoing, and it never sleeps, much like many of our streaking producers. So if it's been a while since you produced the show, or maybe you've never produced the show, go to canarycry.support. Think of what value this show brings to your life, whatever that may be. Put a number on it, and help us out. We'd love to thank you on the show. Perhaps even demooch you. That's always fun. Appreciate it very much, and thank you for your patronage.
Shut up and take my money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Okay. I think it's back to business, Gonz. What do you say?
Every bird alive is a government surveillance drone. All 12 billion birds in the United States are artificial.
We know this. We know this. We know that birds aren't real. They were all birds were exterminated in the 70s and were replaced by government drones. Well, it's finally making it to the mainstream news, folks. Reuters.com. Dead birds get new life.
Whoa.
New Mexico researchers develop taxidermy bird drones.
Oh.
They've done it. It's real. Scientists in New Mexico are giving dead birds a new life with an unconventional approach to wildlife research. Sure. You mean government surveillance. A team at the New Mexico Institute of Mining and Technology in Socorro is taking birds that have been preserved through taxidermy and converting them into drones in order to study flight. Dr. Mostafa Hassanalian, a mechanical engineer professor who is leading the project, had found that artificial mechanical birds had not given the results he was looking for. Quote, "We came up with this idea that we can use dead birds and make them into a drone," he said. Quote, "Everything is there. We do reverse engineering."
Oh my gosh.
Talk about ghoulish. This is
so these are like, I was going to say cyborg, but not really. It's truly is sort of on the scale of cyborg. It's more machine.
More of an android.
Android, okay, yeah.
It's like an android bird drone. Taxidermy bird drones currently being tested in a purpose-built cage at the university can be used to understand better the formation and flight patterns of flocks.
It's the most terrifying photo of a bird drone I've ever seen.
Drone strikes have saved lives.
Can we shoot them down if over our property?
Drones.
That, in turn, can be applied to the aviation industry, said Hassanalian. If we learn how these birds manage energy between themselves, we can apply that into the future aviation industry to save more energy and save more fuel.
And resurrect the pterodactyls, then kill them, and then make them into our next personal planes.
So their excuse is that they're, studying flight, and how better to study flight than to just put dead birds to work. While many think of a bird's color as a way to attract mates or use camouflage, Herkenhoff is studying how color affects flight efficiency.
Oh my gosh, these people have too much time.
We've done experiments and determined that our fixed-wing aircraft applying certain color can change the flight efficiency. And the same is true of birds, we believe. The current taxidermy bird prototype flies for a maximum of only 20 minutes, so the next stage is to figure out how to make it fly longer. Conduct tests in the wild among living birds. The birds truly are drones, folks. Government drones here to spy on all of us. The social credit score and the ESG requirements, it truly is a beast system, Gonz.
I think he discredits himself, the guy who made this, by saying that he's researching the different colors. Is that a joke?
It sounds really silly. I have heard, because there's something to do with the color difference, at least between black and white.
Sure.
A black plane, it's how it's absorbs more heat, and then it affects the aerodynamics or something. But on a bird scale, I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah. Where's PETA? Aren't they upset about this? Or did they not care?
Desecrating the sanctity of a dead bird.
Gosh, this is insane.
So
once they start doing it with canaries, then we're done.
That's messaging. That's some government messaging across the board. It's so funny. We started following this birds aren't real thing back in 2016. It was 2016 or 17. It was in early news talk days that we started talking about it.
And all this way. Now it's real.
Hey, man, we just keep calling them.
All right. Well, let's do some mind control here.
Mind control research intensifies.
Mind control weapons.
Science Daily headline: Mind-body connection is built into brain.
What? No way. The mind-body connection is in the brain? Who could have thought?
Findings point to brain areas that integrate planning, purpose, physiology, behavior, movement. New study revealed.
Yeah, that is generally what the brain is for. Thank you, science.
Reveals that a connection between the body and mind is built into the structure of the brain. The study shows the parts of the brain area that controls movement are plugged into networks involved in thinking and planning, and in control of involuntary bodily functions such as blood pressure and heart rate. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Calm body, calm mind.
A
Say the
new study
practitioners of mindfulness.
A brand new study telling us that the brain controls the body. I love it.
And the mind.
Uh-huh.
Calm body, calm mind, say the practitioners of mindfulness. A new study by researchers at Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis indicates that the idea that the body and mind are inextricably intertwined is more than just an abstraction. The study shows that parts of the brain area that control movement are plugged into. No, we already read that part. Quote, people who meditate say that by calming your body with, say, breathing exercises, you can also calm your mind, said first author Evan M. Gordon, Ph.D., an assistant professor of radiology at the School of Medicine's Mallinckrodt Institute of Radiology. Quote, those sorts of practices can be really helpful for people with anxiety, for example. But so far, there hasn't been much scientific evidence for how it works. But now we've found a connection. We found the place where the highly active, goal-oriented, go part of your mind connects to the part of the brain that controls breathing and heart rate. If you calm one down, it absolutely should have feedback effects on the other.
Yeah, no kidding.
Breathe and you can calm your mind and your body? Science has told us now.
I don't understand why this is happening.
In the 1930s, neurosurgeon Wilder Penfield, MD, mapped such motor areas of the brain by applying small jolts of electricity to the exposed brains of people undergoing brain surgery and noting their responses. He discovered that stimulating a narrow strip of tissue on each half of the brain causes specific body parts to twitch. Moreover, the control areas in the brain are arranged in the same order as the body parts they direct, with the toes at one end of each strip and the face at the other. Penfield's map of the motor region of the brain, depicted as a homunculus or little man, has become a staple of neuroscience textbooks, plural, sorry. Gordon, Doschenbach, and colleagues set about replicating Penfield's work with functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI. They recruited 7 healthy adults to undergo hours of fMRI brain scanning while resting or performing tasks. From this high density data set, they built individualized brain maps for each participant. Then they validated their results using 3 large publicly available fMRI datasets: the Human Connectome Project, the Adolescent Brain Cognitive Development Study, and the UK Biobank, which together contains brain scans from about 50,000 people. Interesting. To their surprise, they discovered that Penfield's map wasn't quite right. Control of the feet was in a spot Penfield had identified. Same for the hands and the face, but interspersed with those 3 key areas were another 3 areas that did not seem to be directly involved in movement at all, even though they lay in the brain's motor area. Moreover, the non-movement areas looked different than the movement areas. They appeared thinner and were strongly connected to each other and to other parts of the brain involved in thinking, planning, mental arousal, pain, and control of internal organs and functions such as blood pressure and heart rate. So there's bodily functions that you can't consciously control, or so they thought. Well, you can sort of do it by changing your physiology. Kind of a known thing.
Yes, this is known for a long, long time. Again, this is a wonderful example of science finally catching up to, I don't know, what was either common knowledge or
common sense
for thousands of years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what the difference is, they get to name it, you see, especially if they discover something. Doschenbach and Gordon named their newly identified network. Remember, they found a network in the brain. They named their newly identified network the somato, body, cognitive, mind, action network, or SCAN. Good job. They're earning their money. To understand how the network developed and evolved, they scanned the brains of a newborn, a 1-year-old, and a 9-year-old. They also analyzed data that had been previously collected on 9 monkeys. Why 9? Are these 9 monkeys, are these the 9 ascended master monkeys?
Yeah, because you need 3 threes.
3 threes.
That's when the monkey spell works.
The network was not detectable in the newborn, but it was clearly evident in the 1-year-old and nearly adult-like in the 9-year-old. See, I don't like that. You know, that's like, hey, if you look at the scan network in your brain, you know, 9-year-old has pretty much got an adult scan. So, hey, let's lower the legal age to 9 because their scan network in their brain is already adult-like. The monkeys had a smaller, more rudimentary system without the extensive connections seen in humans. Okay, blah, blah, blah. They go on here. So, yes, the big thing here is, dare I say, duh. Like, this is like I don't know. It's just something that has been known for so long, but now there's science to back it up. And I think this is part of a trend, and especially because in this context, it's sort of they frame it in like the meditation, and you know, it's kind of a new agey thing where, you know, prayer does kind of the same thing. You know, you kind of take a deep breath, you pray, you know, it takes you out of your element. So, you know, they don't mention that though. They have to do the mindfulness stuff. And so I think we're going to start seeing more and more deconstruction of biology through science, and that becoming sort of an excuse for like a philosophical foundation for, hey, we're just parts. We're just parts. We're just networks. Our brains are just networks. You know, we just have to upgrade our network to this thing or that thing, or, you know, you become susceptible to replacing certain parts of what makes a body or a brain or a mind. And, you know, the mechanics of it, you can just change. And to that front, there's an article here from businessworld.in. It's some Indian outlet. And the headline here is 2045, machines will shop for humans. And 2045, of course, being the year that Dmitry Itskov, the Russian, well, I don't know if he's still an oligarch, a Russian oligarch. Maybe he got sanctioned. We don't know what happened to Dmitry Itskov. But back in the day, Dmitry Itskov was leading the charge for the 2045 project to have human consciousness uploaded into a machine by 2045 to live forever. And so that's an interesting year to point out. And it says here, just at the start of this century, we never imagined that our entire financial assets would be managed with our mobiles. We never imagined that phone commerce will replace physical shopping. We never imagined remote and hybrid work possibilities. With the convergence of AI, machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, drones, EV tolls, and other autonomous vehicles, the way we know what is currently shopping is bound to disappear in the next 20 years. Okay. So it's got a few listed items here. They have smart refrigerators, of course. You know, the Internet of Things type deal. Indoor farming, of course. Robot sales assistant. I thought this was kind of interesting. Keeping track of your inventory and stuff like that. It'll be a robot's job, but then, you know, what the robot is doing is going to be connected to your brain, and your brain can kind of, you know, automate some of those things. But the one that's,
these are in the context of BCIs.
BCI, brain-computer interface.
Brain-computer interface. So.
The one I want to highlight, though, is BCI ordered merchandise. That's brain-computer interface ordered merchandise. This is interesting. Think about the idea of social media, what it's done to a generation, and then let's, you know, analyze this. By analyzing a customer's brain signals, retailers can receive insights into their needs, wants, emotions, and preferences, and push products or services accordingly. This could change the way we market. Using the conventional demand-supply theory, the newer pricing power could shift to a pricing basis of what is the need versus want and the intensity of such an emotion. Okay, so imagine it's like a fluid car salesman.
No, it's every object. So if you're just like browsing Amazon, your phone will be, you know, Bluetooth connected to your brain chip, and while you're scrolling Amazon, you'll click on an object, you know, on a product. You click into the product, and then your BCI, your brain computer interface, will calculate how much you like it. Do you need it? Do you want it? If you want it, you know, it'll talk to your phone and say, oh, he really likes that. He really has got to get his hand on that telephone shaped like a hamburger. You could really squeeze him for this. And then the pricing will adjust. It'll become more expensive. If it reads that I'm into it, or conversely, if it is, even an advertisement on like Facebook or something, as or Twitter or whatever, Instagram, you see an ad, you're scrolling, the ad goes by. It's already pretty good at like trying to pick stuff that you would like. But as you're scrolling by it, your brain chip reads, your interest in that object. And if you're not very interested, maybe suddenly it's 10, 20% cheaper.
Right.
And, doing whatever calculation it needs, again, to encourage you to purchase. It's the idea that the technocrats, the technology that the technocrats are so excited about is the one that more starkly defines a human being as an economic unit of measurement. Yeah. It's done in this language of like, oh yeah, it'll help you, it'll be more convenient, it'll blah blah blah.
It'll be tailor-made to your needs and wants.
Yes, it'll be tailor-made to extract as much money as possible from you to further justify the advertising industry. I mean, and this is not very far out either. They can already do this with phones and cameras. They were doing like iris measurement tests where your camera on your phone, you're looking down at your phone, your camera's looking back up at you, and you're scrolling through Amazon or whatever, and your eyeball movement and your pupil dilation can give them a clue about whether you like what you see or not. And they could do the same thing that way. It's really, the spiritual aspect of this is the horrifying part, which is, we're going to be living in a world that is so tailor-made to, manipulate our feelings about the world that it turns us into more profitable products for instance, social media, and we're the product, and of course their customer is the advertiser. Yeah. It's really, I mean, you want to think that that's not like the main reason they want to give you a brain chip, but you gotta stop joking yourself. It is exactly why they want to give you a brain chip.
Well, and I mean, you think about the mark of the beast, and you can't buy or sell if you're not part of this network.
Right.
And we operate here value for value, which means the content is free, and then you decide as a sovereign individual whether you want to provide value back in the form of time, talent, or treasure. With this, it's kind of like the nagging. I can only think of a car salesman. I don't know why it's a car salesman, but like a nagging car salesman where they're like, "Oh, you don't want this? Well, what about for this price?" Oh, no, not yet. What if I yeah, so there's like a constant sales pitch with the price, with other, whatever it may be. It's for you to say yes.
Your whole life is a one big sales pitch.
It's going to be crazy.
I mean, it's already like that whenever you go on social media.
Well, that's the big thing.
Keep getting better, baby.
With, a lot of people learned about Facebook and how they were mining data, and Facebook at the time was promoting, hey, we're just customizing your feed. We're tailoring it to your interests and stuff like that. And people freaked out. They're like, no, I don't want to provide all that personal, private stuff for you to tailor some kind of thing for me. And now in the context of, hey, 2045, wouldn't it be great? It's going to measure your emotions, your reaction to things, and it'll be priced accordingly. And then the little blurb here continues on and talks about 3D printing and how since everything will be able to be 3D printed, buying stuff is going to be way different. And, your brain chip can even maybe, you're low on some supply or something like that. And instead of actually going on Amazon and ordering it or something, your brain chip will be like, oh yes, we are low on paper towels. Or order paper towels or whatever, or like it just 3D prints in the 3D printer. And oh yes, I forgot I'm low on 3D paper towels, but thankfully my brain chip remembered. And,
right.
So it's just man, it's crazy to think that as crazy as the world is now, how much crazier it is now when we first, as compared to when we first started podcasting. I'm going to be in my 60s in 2045. Are we really going to see people walking around plugged into this thing?
If you listen to the technocrats, we are.
I think we are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Gonz, you worked the value for value model in there, and I think it's about time that we thank some of our artists. Did we get any art sent in today?
We did, yeah. Let's thank some producers who came in with their talent. Yeah, let's start with audio production.
Audio production.
Got something for Marty B.
Biden's your Marty B jingle.
There's actually a couple things here. One from last episode. We'll play both these tracks, Marty B, at the end of this one. But the first thing he sent in was the Super Saturn Cyborg Girl. Play a few seconds of that here. It was a fun song. It's kind of got like a dissonant kind of thing going on.
Fun. Yeah. Cool. We'll play that at the end of the show during the Canary Crime mixtape.
And he also sent in the full band version of Antarctica, which is fits in well with what we're about to talk about in a few minutes here. But thank you very much, Marty B. Appreciate it. And keep rocking, man. Keep rocking. He also sent a picture of a Epiphone SG, and it's a beautiful guitar. But I like the Gibson. I'm a purist. I like the Gibson.
Guitar dudes. Guitar dudes. Talking about guitars and they're being dudes.
Okay. Let's do some art.
One art, please.
Starting with Sir Dove.
One art piece from Dove.
He has a note that says, "Piece for this week's thumbnail duo art. I made a Canarian Gothic remix of the classic American painting. The house in the background is the house that originally inspired the American Gothic artwork in 1930. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for yins."
Yep, love it. This is hilarious, and it's a version of American Gothic, which, if you don't remember, is the farmer, the famous farmer with a pitchfork and his wife, and they look very drab, and they're just staring right at you with their house. But this time we got Gonz. We got Farmer Gonz wearing his jacket and his overalls, carrying his pitchfork there, and you've got googly-eyed Canary Basil as the wife there, wearing a very chic high-collared brown dress with those pupils pointing every which direction, and a nice Canary Cry News Talk seal brooch around the neck. This is hilarious and will certainly be popping up on some of the Canary Cry News Talk thumbnail artwork soon. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
The dress that you're wearing in this photo has the CC kind of scattered, kind of in a Louis Vuitton style
pattern.
Yes. Yeah. Hey,
you'd
fit
very fancy lady.
You'd fit. I was gonna say you'd fit right in with today's culture. I mean, you just walk around as googly-eyed,
activated
Gothic wife, American Gothic wife, and
that's me.
You will go right up to the top of the government.
Yeah. Although I don't think you'd quite fit in over there in California with your farmer get-up, Gonz. That's the most unbelievable part about this thing.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Appreciate it. Okay, we got some from Jonathan F. Jonathan F. sent a note after posting... I'm sorry, hold on. Blech. I read the wrong thing. Hello, guys. This was my first attempt at some visualization stuff with music. I chose the robot that couldn't stand doing a human job for 15 minutes. Enjoy and God bless. And I'll try to read the stuff that's on the screen.
Yeah, read
here.
it as it plays, because for those who are just listening, this is a piece, sort of an artistic, abstract piece that includes the robot we covered last episode who just gave up on his job and just fell to the ground. And this is sort of an artistic rendition of maybe a robot realizing that he has been created to do mundane work for the rest of eternity.
This is what happens when robots realize what humans must go through every day of what is considered normal reality or existential experience in the third dimension. Deactivate.
That was the robot unaliving itself.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan F. Yep.
Yes.
Appreciate it. All right. We got one from Pizza Rat. He has a note.
Pizza
I had to
Rat.
get in on this, although I'm dealing with some tendinitis. Oh, no. This is my bag. Here's the Pizza Rat spin on the B&G cartoon. Love y'all.
Love it. Thank you very much, Pizza Rat. Yes, and we've got some thumbnail artwork here by Pizza Rat taken straight from the stream. We've got Gonz on the right-hand side. He's looking very like he's passionately in the middle of some deep deconstruction and analysis. Got his prayer hat on, his glasses on. Down there in the corner, you do have little Pizza Rat himself showing up. And on the left-hand side, you got Basil, big eyes, looking fantastic, microphone in front of the face, white shirt. It's a classic. Thank you very much, Pizza Rat. This is good. This is good. We're getting ahead of it. We're getting ahead of the game a little bit.
Ow.
This is taking away a lot of our stress, dear artists.
Yes,
having these thumbnail usable images pop in. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We got a couple microfiction to top off the talent section here.
Okay.
Microfiction. Microfiction.
This first one is from Runksmash.
Mike begins climbing the giant mushroom. The higher he goes, the more he understands about the mind fungus. When he reaches the gills, he looks around. He has no other choice than to take a heroic dive in. Once he does, he awakens back in the tank.
Ooh. What's Mike doing on a mushroom, man?
He's in the simulation.
Oh, okay.
That was the way to get out of the simulation, bro.
Oh, he finished the level.
Yes, because he was. Remember, it was the psychedelic chaplain.
Oh, right.
That launched him into. Yes, I know. It's been about 10 episodes since that happened, but that's the beauty of the microfictions.
Yeah, there's a little lag. It's a lagging indicator. Yeah. It's okay.
Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. All right, we got one from Stefan S.
After posting shorts on hexes concerning spell casting to bring the former president to justice, Nadia Obamowicz laments her spells are lacking the punch she was hoping. She postulates that there is a powerful grand wizard thwarting her efforts.
Is that Grand Wizard Don?
Is Donald Trump, Grand Chaos Magician.
Maga
Thank you
King.
very much. Thank you very much, Stefan S.
Thank you, Stefan S.
And I believe that concludes all of our talented producers. If you're a creative person in whatever venue you choose, go to canarycry.art. Canarycry.art. You can upload whatever it is you make for the show over there. We'd love to feature it on the show. And if you have an article you'd like us to take a look at, head on over to canarycry.report. Canarycry.report. And there you go, folks. Thank you very much.
Did you ever have the feeling that you were being watched?
It's called
snowstorm.
Antarctica.
For ice, scientists are penguins.
Antarctica, they're opening the abyss.
Chinese show! Whew. A lot of things. This is The Guardian, and we have another article from The Sun with the same story. Surveillance fears as China resumes construction on 5th Antarctic base.
They're doing it. They're doing it, folks. This is not good news. Not good news. Not because we're actually scared of the Chinese being in Antarctica, but we do know that Antarctica is a wonderful messaging platform for future world events.
Yeah,
and China just keeps broadening their footprint down there, huh?
Well, China's forcing a lot of the Western outlets to admit to why they're in Antarctica. It's very interesting. China is increasing its Antarctic footprint according to new satellite imagery collected by the Washington-based think tank that shows construction has resumed for the first time since 2018 on the country's 5th station in the southern polar region. Beijing has sought to develop new shipping routes to the Arctic and expand its research in Antarctica. But Western governments worry its increasing presence in the polar regions could provide the People's Liberation Army, PLA, with better surveillance capabilities. That's funny. I'm sure the U.S. has
where would they get maybe where would they get such an idea? Perhaps because that's where we have all of our best surveillance capabilities.
Like, hey, that's our surveillance ice thing.
Yeah.
The new station on Inexpressible Island near the Ross Sea is expected to include an observatory with a satellite ground station and should help China fill in a major gap in its ability to access the continent, the Center for Strategic and International Studies said in a report. CSIS used satellite images taken in January to identify new support facilities, temporary buildings, a helicopter pad, this is a 007, and foundations for a larger main building at the 5,000 square meter station. It estimated the construction could be done by 2024. Quote, while the station can provide tracking and communication for China's growing array of scientific polar observation satellites, its equipment can concurrently be used for intercepting other nations' satellite communications, CSIS said. The station is well positioned to collect signal intelligence over Australia and New Zealand and telemetry data on rockets launched from Australia's new Arnhem Space Center, it said. Once finished, the station is expected to include a wharf for China's Zhulong icebreaker ships. CSIS told Reuters that while the U.S. still remains a larger research presence in Antarctica, including the biggest facility in its McMurdo station, China's footprint is growing faster. China's 5th station will be 200 miles from the McMurdo station, it said. Ooh, they're getting close, only 200 miles. Under the 1959 Antarctic Treaty, to which China is party, activities on the continent are restricted to, quote-unquote, peaceful purposes. Military personnel are allowed to conduct scientific research but are banned from setting up bases, carrying out maneuvers, or testing weapons. A 2022 Pentagon report said China's new Antarctic infrastructure was probably intended, in part, to strengthen its future claims to natural resources.
Yeah.
And maritime access and improve PLA capabilities. China rejects claims that such stations would be used for espionage. Of course they did. So there you go. And there's some pictures in the Sun version of this article, which had a more sensational headline. Cold War, China building huge new polar satellite base in the Antarctic, sparking chilling surveillance fears in the West. And there's like an aerial shot of it looks kind of just like a bunch of, what are these things called? Those large containers that have items, kind of an artificially makeshift station. All red, says China on top. Scary, Basil.
Yeah. It's a big deal, man. We can't be giving up the rightful future utopia to the Chinese. What are all the, rich white liberals going to do when they want to go on vacation that they can post on Instagram?
We know the real reason why China's there. The surroundings boast a diverse range of sea life, as well as being home to a large chunk of Adelie penguins, emperor penguins, Antarctic petrels, and Antarctic minke whales.
They They want to kill the whales and harvest the pineal glands of the penguins.
The penguin pineal glands. This
That's what it
is going
is.
to power the quantum computers. It's all written. China says the development of the fifth base will, quote, definitely enhance their capability or capacity in understanding Antarctica.
We just want to understand. That's it.
And check this
That's
out.
it.
Flat Earthers will love this. China already has 4 Antarctic stations. Great Wall is the name of one of them. Zhongshan, Kunlun, and Taishan. Yeah, they have an Antarctic station called Great Wall.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I know they have a Great Wall in China.
Yeah,
but,
you might think that they are talking about the Great Wall of China, but no, they're talking about the Great Ice Wall that separates the realms.
Yes. And what is beyond the realm? What resources lie beyond the realm?
I don't know,
all
but
of the people are going after.
I trust the Chinese to take good care of it, whatever it is. They'll be fine.
They explain
Good job,
Xi is
China.
now, quote, tired of Western influence as he dreams of becoming, quote, most powerful global leader. And
Most
sees
powerful
Putin.
wizard in Antarctica.
Man, I want to see like a Street Fighter type of fight between Xi and like Trump or something on ice. You know how in those games, those fighter one-on-one fighting games, you can like choose your setting.
Yes.
We should make an Antarctica MMA politician showdown.
Yeah, somebody needs to build an event venue down in Antarctica.
That's what needs to happen. That's what we could do. We could
do research. You got to call it a research venue, but really you hold MMA fights and concerts. Jimmy Buffett will play.
We're researching human behavior in cold conditions. So
this is interesting. Over on The Sun, I found a side article that says China shrinks Starlink killing weapon to fit on trucks. 10 gigawatt electron beams can take out flying targets. China's created a weapon specifically to take out Elon.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
beautiful.
There's a big solar flare on Sunday. So
wear your sunscreen, folks.
Yeah. Or, hey, it's over, baby.
Civilization, you had a good run.
It's a good run. BuzzFeed goes down. The world will follow shortly.
Yeah, our work schedule is going to really slow down, Gonz, if the world's electronic communication systems get taken down on Sunday. But just in case, folks, just in case civilization does not collapse due to a sunbeam frying everything, we will be back on Monday with another Canary Cry News Talk, so make sure to tune in. We thanked all of our wonderful, beautiful producers. I have a couple more I want to thank who are helping us out with their time, starting with the Clippies. Clippies on those videos. Thanks. Thank you very much, Clippies. They manage and populate the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey, soon to be Rumble. And we just love them very much and are very impressed with their work. Thank you to Emsworth, Faye Livgren, Jones, and Laura for making that happen. Yep. And that's possible because of the timestampers.
Yes, you are correct.
Timestamp. It's hard work. Timestamp.
That's right. They stamp the times, and it goes into so much of our back-end processes. Thank you very much to Christine C. for timestamping episode 614.
Yay, Christine C.
Yeah. And if you wouldn't mind, folks, please leave ratings and reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts. The Keeper from Great Britain left us a review. The word of life is upheld here. 5 stars from The Keeper in Great Britain.
Hey.
Best show around. Best show around. It's proclaiming the kingdom that is long desired by those who seek him, the glory at the center of the cross, love that is stronger than death and hell. The lads here believe the Christ King is the glory of God magnified. The views of the news talk is always held up against what's already written of old. They only give Christ the glory, not the advertisers. Value for value. Freedom of media is freedom of communications. Freedom is an idea that men sell every day. It's old news that this place is corrupt, snares and traps, and the noise of fear is growing, except here. Canary Cry is where the hope in Christ is burning bright. The content is always fresh, and that is insane considering just how burned out most of us feel. The constant bombardment of the modern world. It can be tiring. So when I feel that way, I switch to these guys, and then I smile and realize that the good Lord has it all in hand. Flippy may have his day, yet we are not alone. In the presence of mine enemies, he prepares a feast. He is that good. Enjoy the show I have for many years. You will too if you give it a listen. If you're reading this, then what are you waiting for? Look at that. Thank you, the Keeper from Great Britain. Had been listening for many years and just left a rating and a review. And I know there are more of you out there. It's been years and you haven't done it. So please go do it for us. It helps us out so much. What else are you going to do with your time? I mean, really, think about it. Thank you to everybody who will and has done that. Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Clank for the assistance. And you got anybody to thank for the reports, Gonz?
Yeah, Bibu Zuzu submitted an article. Thank you.
Love it. Bibu Zuzu.
Appreciate it.
That's right. And other than that, share the show, folks. Share it with your friends, your mom, your mom's friends, Bibu Zuzu, your dad, anybody. Share it with whoever will listen. And if you're having trouble sharing the show, you can do it in sort of a different way. You can show just how unique and brilliant you are, like the scientists in New Mexico. Walk around, find some dead birds, and go ahead and stuff their lifeless corpses with podcasts. That's right. They'll begin to fly around and chirp again. But no, they are not bird zombies. They have not been back from the dead. They are just now animated by the truth that lives within Canary Cry News Talk. And when those birds land on the power lines of our hearts, when they let out their morning song, we won't just hear the chirping of another wild animal looking to ravage the carcasses of any trash left out. No, we'll hear the beautiful siren song of Canary Cry News Talk. Yes, it may freak some people out, but it will help share the show. That's just one way you can do it, folks. You don't have to do it that way. If you need any other instructions, here's what you do. We call it rattling cages. You just walk right up to them, grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. And don't you leave, folks. Don't leave until you hit that thumbs up button. Please. We appreciate it. Again, it helps us out more than you could even know, and it costs you almost nothing. So please hit that thumbs up button no matter where you are. We appreciate it. All right, Gonz, you got any last words?
Earth Day tomorrow. Earth Day.
Earth Day?
And then on Monday, Hairball Awareness Day.
Whoa.
So we will see you on Hairball Awareness Day.
Hairball Awareness Day. That is hilarious. Gotta love the Canary Cry calendar, folks.
Yep.
Gotta get it. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
For God's sake.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird word alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
goodbye, everybody. And that's the end. And everyone says, oh, that was fun. Bye-bye, bye-bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.